Now we know this morning at least 20 people are dead after days of anti-government protests across the country. Here's how former President Obama chose to deal with the #1 state sponsor of terrorism while he was in office.
It is up to Iranians to make decisions about who Iran's leaders will be. That we respect Iranian sovereignty and want to avoid the United States being the issue inside of Iran.
He wanted to respect Iranian sovereignty. He was obviously doing a deal with the Iranians for that nuclear deal. This president, President Trump, is choosing a different approach. The White House is threatening fresh sanctions against Tehran right now if the government forcefully cracks down on demonstrations. Congressman, what do you make of all of this?
We have got to follow President Trump's lead on this. We've got to stand with these demonstrators in Iran. They are fighting against what I think is an illegitimate government. It's a theocratic Islamist tyranny. And, oh, by the way, has a lot of American blood on its hands. If you go back to the Beirut bombings of the Marine Corps barracks in 1983, they were behind that with Hezbollah. If you look at when I was in Iraq, we had as many as 1,500 U.S. service members killed by deadly EFPs. Those were all funded by Iran through the Shia militia and the Quds Force. So this is one of the truly evil regimes in the world. And the U.S. should be on the side of the angels. The people who are out there fighting for their freedom are brave. We have to back them. I'm willing to do whatever would work to help facilitate the effort. But if they would be successful in toppling this Khamenei regime, that would probably be the single best thing you can have for a peaceful world in the foreseeable future. All of a sudden, all the damage that was done with the Iran nuclear agreement and the worry that they were on the cusp, and I believe they are actively pursuing nuclear weapons. And I was also very concerned and still concerned that North Korea could provide them with nuclear weapons. If the Khamenei regime tumbles, the Iranian people are very pro-Western. They have a very proud culture, and it doesn't deserve to be suffocated under this Sharia totalitarian state.
Well, there certainly is a lot going on in terms of foreign policy, whether you look at the Middle East, whether you look at Asia and North Korea. And then, of course, there's the investigations here at home. I want to get your take on what's going on in terms of the Democrat collusion. The massive hack attack on Yahoo could have compromised sensitive State Department information. We know now that Hillary Clinton's former top aide, Huma Abedin, reportedly forwarded state passwords. She sent her passwords to her personal Yahoo account. Now, this is according to the Daily Caller. We know that Yahoo was hacked. Everybody using Yahoo was hacked. Could there be any repercussions for this, that Huma forwarded her passwords to her Yahoo account, not to mention sensitive top secret files to Anthony Weiner's computer, her husband, who's now sitting in jail?
Well, in normal cases, I think there would obviously be repercussions, but that's been one of the big problems with this whole Clinton matter, is that you see things happening, and the FBI and the Justice Department treated it differently than they would almost any other time. There's going to be a big IG report coming out. I'm not sure that's going to be as strong as I would like to see, but clearly there were problems with this. And remember, Peter Strzok, the FBI agent who said that you need an insurance policy to prevent in case Trump got elected, he was really involved not only changing the language in Comey's statement about the gross negligence to extreme carelessness, he was responsible in part for dumbing down the FBI's judgment that it was almost sure that Hillary's emails had been intercepted by a foreign government because it just didn't have the protection, and any hacker worth their salt would get it. He dumbed that down to say, well, we don't know whether anything happened. And so I think from the very beginning of this, all those warning signs were there, and normally people would be held accountable, but no one's been held accountable yet.
You know, Congressman, I just find this story stunning. And I imagine this is going to be one of the big stories of 2018. So you just mentioned FBI agent Peter Strzok, who said he wanted an insurance policy just in case Trump got elected. Was that insurance policy just investigation after investigation after investigation of Donald Trump? Is that the insurance policy? And secondly, let's not forget Andrew McCabe, whose wife, also FBI, top FBI guy, his wife got $700,000 from Terry McAuliffe's group when she was trying to run for a local office. And then there's Bruce Orr. He was the #3 guy in the Department of Justice. His wife worked for Fusion GPS, who created the dossier, who the Democrats and the Hillary Clinton campaign paid for. This is just mind-boggling. How many people at top levels of Department of Justice and FBI were complicit against Donald Trump and favoring and protecting Hillary Clinton?
And Bruce Orr, he had a meeting during the campaign with Christopher Steele, the guy that was contracted by Fusion GPS to create this discredited dossier against Donald Trump. And he's since been demoted. But I got to tell you, Maria, it's been very frustrating not getting the full story on all this. I asked Rod Rosenstein under oath, what's the deal with Orr? You demoted him. Was that the reason why? And, he said, there's investigations going on. The IG is going to determine all this. So they hide behind IG. They hide behind, it's classified. It's funny. The stuff that's classified, it doesn't prevent some of them from leaking to the New York Times and the Washington Post. They're totally willing to do that, but they will not answer our questions under oath. So I think this whole thing really stinks. We need all the answers. And there's so many things we don't know. Remember, we got a couple hundred text messages from Strzok and Lisa Page. There were 10,000 that the IG got. Why did we only get those? What's in all the other ones? The other ones aren't just lovey-dovey stuff for 9,000 text messages. I'm sure they discussed some of these matters. So we don't even have all the information there. We don't have all the information about Bruce Orr. And the FBI still will not answer the questions, and the Justice Department won't, about how they used that dossier. Did they use it to get surveillance on Trump associates?
But that's the thing. What are you going to do about it? I mean, you've been asking, your committee is asking for information from the FBI, and they're stonewalling you. So what are you going to do?
So the intelligence chairman, Devin Nunes, sent a very tough letter to the deputy AG over the holidays, and he said January 3rd's the deadline. Comply or else we're going to move forward. Yeah. I think we'll move forward with some type of contempt of Congress. I mean, Maria, the American people deserve answers on this, but this is also a larger test of Congress. Right. You need to have effective oversight, and for so long it's just been feckless. And you say, give it to us, and then we go through these things months and months. That's not the way it works. These are very critical issues, and they need to be given to the Congress. All
right, we're going to watch that. The deadline's tomorrow. We'll see if there's a contempt of Congress ruling and an investigation to follow. Congressman, good to see you, sir. We'll be watching.